Good day to everyone, and I warmly welcome all of you to today's video. Today I'm going to discuss about the third lecture of Business Studies and Accounting subject, that is business organizations. When I'm discussing this lesson, I'm going to make little bit changes in order to give you a proper understanding on each concept. Our first concept is sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorships are a kind of organization where the ownership is belong to only one particular person. Or I can explain it like this: the ownership of the organization is belong only to one person. Or in other words, a business owned by one person, a business owned by a person, we can call it as sole proprietorship. When we looking into the characteristics, in here the capital should be invest by the owner. He cannot go and collect capital, required capital from each and everyone. He has to invest his own money. Then there is no legal personality. What is meant by there is no legal personality? Legal personality is refers to where in front of the law a business can be identified as a separate legal entity or separate person. But in sole proprietorship, the separate legal personality is not there. It means if anyone file a case against the organization, owner has to bear it. It is filed under owner's name, not the business name. It's filed under owner's name. That is one of the characteristics in sole proprietorship. Then all the losses and profits should be borne by the owner alone. He cannot definitely he can enjoy all the profits by himself, but that particular person cannot change or cannot pass the losses to anyone else, because he started the business. He is liable, or he must bear profits as well as losses. Then unlimited liability. What is meant by unlimited liability? I will explain this through an example. Assume if the owner takes a loan from another party, and suddenly he go bankrupt and he is unable to pay that loan. Now what happens, since this is a source of sole proprietorship, he has to put his own money. It means he has to put his personal money in order to repay that loan. That is meant by unlimited liability. So the next characteristic is no continuous existence. It means if the owner has mental disorders or mental illnesses, and if the owner die, this organization going to close, and this organization will be closed if the owner face some personal problems or any injuries, it's like a permanent illnesses. This type of organization will be closed, so there is no continuous existence. Then no, it is not mandatory to register the name. There is a case where you have to register the sole proprietorships also, but in general it is not required to register the name of the business organization if it is a sole proprietorship. I will discuss when we have to register if that particular person conducts sole proprietorships, but only that instance that particular person has to register his name, not his name, register business name. I will explain it little bit later. Then let's look at what are the advantages and disadvantages of sole proprietorships. When it comes into the advantage, it is very much easy to start. Since one particular person is providing investments, and only one particular person is there, when he has a thought to start a business, it is very much convenient. He can easily start the business. Then all profits belong to the owner. As I mentioned before, since he is the only one, he cannot enjoy all the profits alone. Then privacy of the information is secured. Since there is only one owner, since there is limited parties, so since there is only one person who is engaging in activities, security of the information is high, because no one is there to transfer, or no one is there to leak information to other parties. Then abilities and the knowledge can be used in order to the success of the organization. Here I have to mention owners' abilities and skills. The success of the organization is wholly dependent upon the knowledge and the skills and the experience that the owner is having. Since he is the one, all the activities is doing under his guidance. So his skills, knowledge, experience is lead to the success of the organization. Then independent decision making. He can make decisions alone. No one is coming and influencing him to make this kind of decisions, make this kind of decisions. He can make it alone. Then let's look at what are the disadvantages of sole proprietorships. When we come into the disadvantages, we already discussed few of them under the characteristics. Let's look at one by one. Unlimited liability of the owner. I mentioned before, if the owner obtain a loan from one person, he has to pay it from his personal money if the organization go bankruptcy. If the organization bankrupt, he has to pay, or he has to give his asset to that loan provider in order to repay, or in order to settle the loan. Then difficulty to raise capital. Since the capital is invested by the one person, he has to wait till he has enough money. He cannot collect them from the other person. All the resources should be gathered by himself. So it is difficult and it takes time. Then no continuous existence. As I mentioned before, since this is run by one person, the death of that person, or mental illness, or any kind of permanent illness cause to shut down the business operations. Then no legal personality. I already explained this also in the characteristics. If anyone file a case, it comes under owner's name. So in front of the law, the business is not considered as a separate legal entity or separate legal person. Let's look at when we have to register sole proprietorships. I told you before, it is not mandatory to register sole proprietorships, but there is an instance you have to register this sole proprietorships. Let's look at what is it. If that particular organization or that particular business is running not under the name of the owner, he has to register that business. I think it's clear. I will give an example in order to understand it better. Assume Kamal Pereira is the person who is going to start the business. Now Kamal is opening a business with the name New Vegetable Shop. You can see the name of the owner is different from the name of the shop. Okay. In this case, you have to register the organization. Kamal has to register his organization because name of the owner is different to the name of the organization. And I have to mention that name of the organization should have the full name of the owner. I will give an example. Assume Gayan Kodituwakku. The business should be named as Gayan Kodituwakku business. Or if he is going to put it as Gayan Traders, he has to register that particular name because it is different to the owner's full name. When it is going to register, it should be registered under the Names Act, or we can in your textbook it is not provide the it is not include the name of the act. So but it is important to keep it in your mind. When it comes to the registering process, the authorized person for the registration, sole proprietorship registration is registrar of the company, so the registrar of the business name. Then it's when you have in here you have to collect applications from district secretaries, and in there you can get 2 applications, one for registering your business name and other one is requesting a report from Grama Niradhari. In there, after you fill the name, the form of the business registration, no, the form of the business name registration, you have to collect the report that is given from the given by the Grama Niradhari, and both documents should be submitted to the district secretaries. Under that, they go through those documents and give your registration. When you get the registration certificate should be displayed within the premises of the working or the working within the working place. You have to, it is mandatory to display the certificate you received. Then after that, let's look at what are the advantages of registering your business name. When it comes to the advantage, it provides an identity to the business organization. Now business is having a separate identity when comes to the trading. Then provides an ownership to the business name. Since the business name is registered under the owner's name, it gives an ownership to the business name. Then by registering your name, it can be considered as a qualification to obtain incentives given by the government. You can apply to the incentives given by the government when you register your business organization. Then at last, it is easy to get bank loans. Since sole proprietorships are not having a continuous existence, banks are reluctant to give loans. But if company registered, banks, now it's okay to give bank loans, because if they give a bank loan to the unregistered organization, unregistered sole proprietorship, it is a huge risk. So by obtaining the registration, business now can apply for a bank loan, and they can get a bank loan very easily. So I think now it is clear about sole proprietorships. Sole proprietorships are the basic structure or the basic form of organization where most of the the starting point of most of the organizations in the world is started at sole proprietorships. So now you know what is meant by sole proprietorships and what are their characteristics and advantages and disadvantages, and when you have to register that organization, and what are the advantages of registering that organization. So let's meet again with a new video regarding the partnerships. Thank you for being with me.